I'm Kit. It's cloudy outside, and I still have a cold. You may have noticed I'm not in the same place I was last time. That's because I am no longer in my dorm room in Olympia. I am in my actual room in Eureka, California! Yay! I am visiting my mom and my family and my friends for the winter break. I'm gonna be here for about 3.5 weeks, so the next few vlogs are probably gonna be from right here. Alright, about this video. To get from Olympia, Washington to Eureka, California, I had to be on the road for about 12 hours straight. And during that drive, I had a lot of time to think about what makes me anxious about driving. Oh, but I know what you're thinking. Wait, Kit, I looked it up on Google Maps and it only takes 10.5 hours to get from Olympia to Eureka. Okay, that may be true. But in my defense, there was a tree blocking both lanes of traffic at one point. So, not my fault. Alright, let's get to the point of this video, driving anxiety. Specifically, my driving anxiety. The first thing I want to mention about my driving anxiety and my experience with driving anxiety is that I'm really mostly anxious before I drive or when I'm thinking about driving. When I am driving, I still have like a baseline anxiety that's just kind of like, eh. But when I'm thinking about it, when I'm not driving, it's more like, ah! If you get what I mean. But there are things that make it more anxious for me while I'm driving, and I wanted to talk about those. Yeah. So the first thing I wanted to bring up was the weather and the time of day. Now, during this 12-hour road trip that I had to take, I think 7 hours it was raining really hard. Can you imagine driving 7 hours in the pouring rain? I can, because I did it. Yeah, if it's raining really hard, if it's snowing, I've actually never driven in the snow, but if it was snowing, that would definitely heighten my anxiety. If it's really foggy, you know, anything that makes the road conditions really hard to drive on. Also, during this road trip, I was on the road before the sun rose, and I got home after the sun set. So I was driving in about 4 hours of darkness total. That plus rain was really nerve-wracking. And I'm sure it'd be nerve-wracking for anyone, but I think with me it was like really terrifying. Something else that makes me really anxious, especially on the freeway, is passing people. It seems like the bigger the vehicle that I'm passing, the more anxiety I have about passing them, which makes sense. But it takes a lot of emotional energy for me to pass someone on the freeway. It's really kind of strange. Like, there'll be times when I'm just so exhausted that I won't pass people, even if they're going like 45 miles an hour. Like, that happened to me coming home. I was behind a car with a trailer, and they were going 45 in a 65 zone. And I just cruised behind them, smiling, because I didn't have the energy to pass them. I didn't have the emotional output I needed in order to go around them. Yeah. Which I'm sure some people find really strange. I'm sure the people who are in the car with me when I'm driving find that really irritating. I would if I was the passenger. Speaking of freeway driving, I find it actually much easier to drive on the freeway than in the city. Even though I don't like passing people, I do find it easier on the freeway just because there's like less rules to follow. Because in the city I feel really pressured to follow all the rules exactly. And then there's just, I feel like there's more cars, there's more people, there's more things you could do wrong. in the city and doing city driving than on the freeway. So that's another weird quirk of my anxiety. Another thing that's funny is that it depends on the duration of the drive. Like, I really actually like long drives, probably because it's on the freeway. Actually, yeah, that's probably why. But I do. I really like long drives. I've been taking long drives since I was a wee bab, a wee little baby, with, with my mom, my brother. And, yeah, I find it really enjoyable to actually do long drives on the freeway. Except, of course, if it's raining for 7 hours and it's dark for 4 of those hours. I find it more enjoyable, is what I should say. I find freeway driving more enjoyable than city driving. Anyway, that's just a few things that I wanted to talk about with my driving anxiety. Ooh, and maybe a few of you out there also have driving anxiety, and we could party it down in the comments and maybe talk about what makes you anxious about driving, about other things. Of all the 5 people who are going to watch this video. But yeah, that's about it for me and driving. I mean, I'm sure there's more that I'll think of later, but that's all I can think of right now. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. You're all lovely. You're all lovely people, I'm sure. And thanks for watching. Bye!